Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome. Today's lesson was not supposed to be scheduled according to the academic calendar. Nevertheless, I thought that it would be good to just finish solving this exercise for you to have more information to practice before your exam. And also, I'm going to take advantage of this video to provide some instructions that will be useful for the exam. Okay, so let's just cover that first. So the topics to be evaluated on the exam are going to be one period inventory model, and that's it. Okay, that's it, only that one. And on the assignment or homework, right? Homework number 5, I'm going to evaluate both this and I'm going to evaluate um, and inventory KPIs. For you to take into consideration when studying. I have already updated the platform for you to be able to see the classes related to one period inventory model. Um, it's not a lot of material to cover, so please make sure you understand, okay, you understand well that you can check on the recordings that I have left for you in Teams. I'm going to try to gather them all and place them in the platform as well. But please do your best, okay? This is the final exam. It's just one topic, and I'm pretty sure that you can do a good job. Okay, so last time we were talking about some KPIs related to inventory. In particular, we were discussing about inventory turnover and days of inventory. And here we were explaining that this inventory, the turnover rate, is pretty much a measure of how fast or how many times you are able to turn your sales into money, right? Your inventory into money. And that's why companies are worried about having high levels of turnover rate. So just their investment is not frozen in the warehouse. So we have this exercise that we were not able to finish last time. We just read that the company had implemented a just-in-time philosophy and that they had experienced some changes in the amount of inventory they had. And we were asked to evaluate the inventory turnover rate before and after, along with days in inventory for us to conclude if the policy or the inventory system had any effect, right, on the company and what was the effect. So we are going to do that. So in order to calculate the turnover rate, we need to make some, just calculate a little bit more things here. So the inventory turnover rate is this. Okay, the average inventory we needed. So we need to, let me just bring the other formula as well. Okay, this is the formula. Okay, so we have the cost of goods sold. We only need to calculate the average inventory for us to determine the inventory turnover. So to do that, Well, we need to, oops, we need to compute here another row, okay? It's the summation of these two divided by 2, so it would be 290,000 plus 210,000 divided by 2, and here 210,000 plus 50,000 divided by 2, okay? So if we do this, okay, this would be 500,000 divided by 2, 250,000. And this one would be 260 divided by 2, 130,000. Of course, is in dollars, right? Okay. All right, and now we are ready to calculate. I'm going to just shade this in another color just to remind you that this is something that we have estimated. It's not information that the exercise gave us directly. Okay, so now we can calculate the inventory turnover. This is going to be the cost of goods sold, which in this particular scenario, it's 1 million divided by the average inventory, which is 250,000. Or 4, right? And here it would be the cost of goods sold, again, 910,000 divided by 130,000. Let me just do that quickly. 7. Okay. So we have this already. What else? Inventory turnover rate, days in inventory. Okay, so days in inventory. It's equal to be days of inventory. Days of inventory would be 365 days in a year divided by that inventory turnover rate. Okay? So here we have all this information. Let's just add one row. Okay, and days of inventory would be 365 divided by 4 and 365 divided by 7. And let me do that quickly. 91.25, and the other one 52.14. Okay, so what were we asked to calculate that? Discuss the changes in the amount of inventory turnover rate. So let's bring this question here for us to better answer it. Okay, so what can we say about the amount of inventory? Well, we can see that the ending inventory has reduced significantly from $210,000 to $50,000. It's a very, important reduction, almost to 75% of what it was. You can see that the turnover rate also has improved. Before the just-in-time implementation, they were able to turn the inventory to money 4 times in a year. And here now, after the changes, they can turn it 7 times. The inventory was turned into money or into sales 7 times in a year, which means that items were getting out of the warehouse more frequently. Okay. In terms of days of inventory, you can see that before the implementation, they had approximately 91 days on average equivalent of inventory at any moment of time. And after, you can see that the average inventory they held was 5240. That means that this means that the warehouse occupation as well had to be reduced, right? The space available was freed for some other elements. Okay. And see, if you see, the days of inventory has reduced as well significantly, almost by half. Now, if they wanted to, let's imagine that they were renting a warehouse or hiring a logistic operator to handle their inventory management, which is something common with supermarkets and big retail houses. This would have had a significant impact on costs because they would have needed less warehouse space, right? Because they are having less days of inventory. So definitely we can say that in terms of reducing inventory, that the just-in-time philosophy has been useful. Okay. Now, when it comes to sales, you see that there's also a slight reduction of sales, almost by 200 to no 200,000. Okay. um yeah, $200,000 difference. And that might be a result of having lower amounts of inventory, because in just in time you don't order anything else than what the customer has already confirmed they want. Therefore, if a customer comes and wants more product, you will not have it at the moment, and you might be at the risk of losing sales. So it could be that perhaps they didn't have much availability, and therefore they couldn't sell as much as they did in 2000 in 20 in 2021, right? Nevertheless, it would be necessary to evaluate if that reduction in sales has been, not be enough in comparison to the savings related to purchasing inventory they didn't need and the respective inventory cost, to see if it was worth it. Okay. Because yes, having a reduction in sales is not good, but having a lot of inventory that you cannot sell and be spending money on that because you have capital frozen, you have warehouse costs associated, is not good either, right? So it would be necessary to make a financial evaluation of the costs of inventory to determine if really it has had a positive overall impact for the company. But right now, what we can say is that if the company had the goal of reducing the inventory levels they had, it has worked. Okay, it has allowed them to increase the turnover rate, decrease the days of inventory, and decrease significantly the average inventory over almost over by 50%. Okay. Now, this, besides the reduction in inventory, most likely would have had other impacts, such as being given them more free um, space, as I said, releasing labor costs related to material handling of unnecessary inventory, and they are a retailer, right? Because they are, well, it doesn't say, but if they were a production company, having less inventory than what is really having less inventory. Oh, no, I'm sorry. If you are a production company, reducing the amount of unnecessary inventory as well would give you time to produce other things that customers do find necessary. Okay, because you have freed capacity in production. It's not the same being, imagine, you are producing stock of something that you cannot sell, So you stop doing that, and instead you have that capacity to receive orders, last time customer orders, for example, that before you couldn't because you had everything already compromised in terms of capacity. But now, if you are producing less unnecessary inventory, most likely you will also have that excess capacity that now it can be offered to customers for special orders or last minute orders. Uh, and that can also become beneficial, right? In terms of reputation, in terms of market penetration, right? In terms of differentiation. Okay, so this is the last exercise related to inventory KPIs. I'm going to, um, right now, I was just wanted to finish this lecture so I could upload this to the website. I'm going to do it right now. Please, if there are any questions, let me know. I'm going to be searching for the classes for you and leaving them all the recordings in the platform so you don't have to spend time doing that and searching for them yourself on Teams. But please do your best and try to study as much as you can. Remember this, okay? And prepare yourself. In the case of the one period inventory models, I am going to give you, well, I'm going to give you a seed table, but I cannot give you the Z value because that is part of the exercise. So you would have to practice how to use the seed table or how to use the inverse function in Excel as I had explained to you in previous lectures. So please review the lectures and check on the exercises for you to be able to have a better understanding of what this is. Okay, it was a pleasure to be with you guys in this semester. I hope this class turns out to be useful for your life. And if there's anything else I can do for you, please let me know. So thank you so much again, and I hope we can see each other again. Have a good day. Goodbye.